So, the latest Iran and Israel and US war has started. How long is the war gonna last? That's yet to be seen. It kind of depends on if Ayatollah is still alive. There's some rumors going on that Ayatollah died, but as of now, like, there's no confirmation other than from the Israeli government, and we can't really trust that. 10, 15 years probably. I don't think it's gonna be that long of a war. I think like the war is probably gonna end sooner, but I think like even after the initial conflict ends, there's gonna be some turbulence still in the region. So it happened with Iraq, it happened with Syria, it happened with Libya. So even after the initial war phase ends, there's still gonna be some turmoil. So, but
with 20 hotel brands at IHG Hotels,
we're covering that and trying to keep everything updated. So, the initial strikes on Iran happened in the morning. Nobody thought Iraq and Afghanistan would have lasted as long as they had, to be fair. That is true. I mean, if the only thing they do is like airstrikes, that's not going to be enough to topple the regime. They need to put some boots on the ground, though. So if they're just going to like bombard Iran, that's not going to be enough to topple the regime. Israel is still keeping Palestine. That is true. And no shock to anyone, the IDF decided to do what IDF does best, which is attack civilians and children and women. They attacked the girls' school in Iran, killing women and children again. But that is, again, not a surprise. Anyone who's followed the Gaza war and the genocide in general in Gaza, like, that's kind of the way that IDF does business, is they don't give a fuck about children, they don't give a fuck about women, they don't give a fuck about civilians. They just bombard what they can. So it wasn't a big surprise that when Israel attacked Iran, they attacked a girls' school. Is world in danger with the global US-Israeli dictatorship? I mean, the world is a bit more unstable now. So technically, yeah. Hello, friend, what's the news? The war in Iran started. That's the major news. And Iran, of course, retaliated, which isn't a surprise when your country is bombarded. Death toll rises to 85 after strike on Iranian school. The death toll from a strike that hit a school in southern Iran has risen to 85 people, an official said on Iranian state TV. Captain Tim Hawkins, a spokesperson for the US Central Command, said he was aware of reports that girls' school was struck and they were looking into them. Iranian missiles fell on the girls' school. That is not accurate. I just saw that there were 85 killed in the school. Yeah, 85 is like literally 5 minutes ago. It was the most recent one. They halted the delivery of crude oil because the Venezuela next to Iran is one of, like, I think it's responsible for 10% or something like that of the crude oil exports. So depending how long this lasts, this will actually have some impact around the world on oil prices. Iran sent a missile to US base in Bahrain. That is true, and hit the US base in Bahrain. They didn't just send a missile there, they hit the US base. Even their so-called allies can't trust them. Not sure we have enough oil. I mean, it is gonna affect the price of oil. Big Will 69, thanks to follow. This had to be done. I mean, that's a kind of a doomsday mentality that you need to attack a country. Trump has been saying to end the evil Iran regime for a long time. Are we sure about that?
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected, and as sure as you're sitting there, is to start a war with Iran. Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate.
How long do you want me
He's
to
weak and
keep
he's
this in a loop?
ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected, and as sure as you're sitting there, is to start a war with Iran.
How many times do I need to loop that? Can Iran hit the US mainland? No, they can't. Trump has not been in favor of Iran's regime change and attacking Iran for a long time. Trump has humored the idea of attacking Iran quite recently, actually. So, and that the same goes for like the Trump admin in general. This is a big show. It is Netanyahu's pressure. Well, Netanyahu has lobbied to attack Iran ever since the 90s. So it's not that big of a surprise that they decided to attack it. Like, now the United States has a president that is willing to do it. But they have literally like pressured the United States to attack Iran ever since the 90s. Did USA do it because of Epstein files? No, I think USA did it because their foreign lobbyists asked them to do. Trump in 2013. Remember that I predicted a long time ago that President Obama will attack Iran because of his inability to negotiate properly, not skilled. That was Donald Trump in 2013, November 11th. Criticizing Obama for allegedly attacking Iran. Trump has also said that he doesn't want regime change before 2020. Trump has not been in favor of attacking Iran, but now all of a sudden he is. But things change. Like your priorities change. Trump is doing this exactly because he can't negotiate. Because I don't know if you read the news or have been following what's going on in Iran, but the negotiator from Oman actually got a promise from Iran not to like try and get nuclear weapons, which is exactly what Trump wanted to hear. But then Trump and Netanyahu changed that they can't have any ballistic missiles or any like long-range missiles. So they shifted the goalpost. So the negotiations were going on at the moment, but they decided to strike, which is the same thing they did last year as well. Please do, tell me what fake news am I spreading? Trump has literally said not to attack, criticized Obama for attacking Iran, or even like preparing to attack Iran. Tulsi Gabbard said before joining Trump's admin that Iran shouldn't be like United States issue. United States shouldn't go into another forever war in the Middle East. A lot of Trump admins before becoming Trump admin has stated the same. So I don't know on like what rock have you lived under, but like this is not new news. I didn't get any boosters, so no, I'm not lying, Los. I'm like I can't help you if you don't fucking read. If those get destroyed there, then it's doomsday for oil prices. Let's see if Israel does it.
President will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected,
This is for you, Los.
and as sure as you're sitting there, is to start a war with Iran. Our president will start a war with Iran.
This is Trump in 2011. That's AI. Yeah, get the fuck out. I mean, you're a lost case. Trump is doing it because of the midterms. Trump is attacking Iran because of the midterms. They don't have nuclear weapons. They don't pose any threat to the United States. America is fighting Israel war. Come on, see through it. Speak the fact. Yeah, America is fighting a war on behalf of Israel. 100%. This is not for the Americans. Like, this is what Bibi has been lobbying since the 90s. Like, I am not a fan of Bibi Netanyahu and IDF and the government of Israel. I have nothing against the people of Israel, but I'm not a huge fan of the government of Israel because of the genocide they're causing in Gaza and towards the Palestinians. So I'm not I 100% know this is created by Bibi and his eagerness to attack Iran. Hey, Sharon Shank, thanks for the rose. Okay, sorry, early 80s, but we have video footage from the 90s.
Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb.
Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade.
Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
If not stopped.
So it is not that big of a surprise that this happened. It's surprising that it took this long. But now there's a president in the United States that is willing to do the bidding of another country. My job also has a war room. There is a place with replica of the same room. I mean, Kuwait and Qatar, your Latinos never fight. Shut up and get some tea. Read a sack of Baltimore. History repeats. What? What is your opinion of the stand-down order on October 7th implying Israel had a hand in false flag? Hey, Patrick Person, I actually talked about that because that court case is still ongoing, and if PP is actually found guilty, that is going to change the narrative completely. We also know that from the same charges, if you read them, PP is also being charged to funding Hamas through Qatar. So I'm following that when it's going, and of course there's reasons why Trump wants that to be PP to be pardoned before even sentenced or convicted. But that is a topic as well, something that we will cover up in the future, because that will shape the whole Gaza conflict in general. And also, I think somebody mentioned we talked about this yesterday, and I watched you live for 200 minutes. Thanks, Lovable Stoner. You've been a really loyal viewer here. Yeah, but we knew this is going to happen yesterday. Patrickal person, thanks for the follow, and Kurt as well. We've been in conflict with Iran for decades. This is overdue and justified. Is it though? What's your opinion about USA involvement? We are confused. I don't think USA should be involved in this. I actually agree with 2017 and earlier Trump and Tulsi Gabbard that USA should not participate in regime changes and war in the Middle East. That's what they've said before, like the last few years, when they started to lobby that they're going to attack Iran. Can we get those leaders back to the United States that actually thought about that? I would be so angry if my tax money was used for war on the other side of the world. Why is Pakistan and Afghanistan fighting? Well, that's a bit of a longer topic, though. What I don't get, the majority of our people don't agree with the USA involvement and decisions. Nobody cares what you think. Well, there's always you can swipe upwards. I don't know if you know how that works, but you can go to the next live if you want to. I know some of these topics might hurt you because, like, Trump was against Iran regime change, and Bibi has been lobbying for attacking Iran for a long time. Fact of the matter is they did attack now, and also another fact that they attacked a girls' school, and another fact that Iran is retaliating. And also, this is going to cost a lot of money for the U.S. taxpayers. So. Regime change has never worked in Middle East. There's a long last of history of USA doing regime changes, and they have, like, never ended well. Be prepared of widespread cyber attacks on the United States. I mean, okay, I can extend you an olive branch. USA and Israel killed the Ayatollah. They should end it there. Let the Iranian people take it over after that. That's not going to happen. I'm going to say it here. Even if they kill the leadership of Iran, the evil regime of Iran, they are not going to let the country decide their future. They're going to do the same thing that they've always done. They put some boots on the ground. They decide who's the next leader is going to be. And that has never worked so far. But if they just kill the Ayatollah and pull their troops and say, hey, Iranians, your regime is dead. Take over. Yeah, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. But that is not how USA rolls. And because Israel and Bibi Netanyahu and Israel's government, they need to have a leader there that is on their side. So that is not, the Iranian people will never decide who's the next regime going to be if it's done like this. That is now how it works. That is what happened in Iraq. That is what happened in Libya. That is what happened in Syria. That is what happened. It's happened so fucking many times. Anyone who doesn't understand that hasn't like read history and doesn't know how this works. if the whole world goes against US, control the world's precious resources. Went well with Japan though. The USA is the reason my family is alive in the Middle East. I'm a part of that history. What are the pros and cons of a regime change in Iran? Well, you get rid of a really fucking evil regime. That's one thing. But the cons are, well, you would be a puppet country for foreign entities. So, do you really have freedom after that? Why does the USA always attack other countries just to steal oil? Do you agree with that action? Fuck no. I don't. But it is their precious gold that they're willing to attack other countries, increase their military budget just to get more oil. And they do have lobbies from the oil companies, so they need to keep their promises that they made for the campaign money that they received. Linda, thanks for the follow. Israel and USA aren't people to mess with, for sure. Trump said that the people could do whatever they like after they kick out of the regime. Oh my. Nobody can trust what the fuck he says. I got cheese, thanks for the follow. I live in the US, or our left and right wing parties are trash. That is true. Both sides in the USA shit, Kari. You look like Aussie without all the makeup. Thanks. The USA has more oil than they could use in 200 years. But you trust Iran? No. Why are we spamming Allahu Akbar? I don't like spammers. Better looking Aussie though. Which one? Is Aussie better looking or me? You have to choose, you stay or go home. What? War is never the answer. Melody, I do 100% agree. I'm so against fucking killing and war. Only truth he said the last weeks is that he doesn't like young boys, but he loves young women. Oh god, yeah, lovable stoner, that is true. You talk good about Iran, but not USA. I talk good about Iranian people, not the regime. The Ayatollah regime is horrible. It has treated Iranian people horribly. And why, if you attack another country, I don't hold you in high regards in that. Especially if you're siding with a country that's willingly killing tens of thousands of women and children. Doing war crimes. If you're siding yourself with a country like that, I can't really talk too much highly. And if you're not doing anything to stop that, you know? But then again, that's how they roll. US tells Lebanon, Iran sends new wave of missiles towards Israel. This news comes to us from Iran's semi-official news agency Tasnim. Stay with us for the outcome of these attacks. We have a statement from Venezuela government denouncing the attack on Iran. Venezuela is going to get a freedom strike number 2. Venezuela condemns and regrets deeply that in a context in which diplomatic efforts and ongoing negotiations are being developed, the military road was opted for through attack against Iran. Ooh, that must sting to Trump. That must sting. They let the Maduro regime still be in power, which is true. Even though they removed Maduro itself, but the Maduro regime is still there. And now they're talking shit about US. So, that must sting. Justice, thanks for the follow. Do you think Elon will interfere with the midterms? Well, he did. He did intervene in the elections as well. So probably was Venezuela involved in nuclear discussions with the U.S. and Iran? No. Stings harder than his full diaper. The war in the Middle East is a part of what's to come, not the cause. A wise person would get prepared for a turbulent future. Venezuela's government is the same, it means nothing. Yeah, they just wanted the oil from Venezuela. Like, that's not a secret. Iran war, what's the point really? Oil. Adi follow, thanks for the follow. FC, look over here, it's Iran. Do we want to shock people more? I might have a reason why. Oh my god, this is gonna make so many people mad, but it kind of sums up perfectly. Just a second. Here we go. This is gonna make so many fucking pro-Israeli people so mad.
Why haven't you attacked Iran yet? If you don't attack soon, I will release the Epstein files.
Okay, BB, I'll do whatever you want.
Oh, Donald.
That might be the reason why they attacked Iran. Not saying that's the full reason, but that might be the reason. I love you, bro. Thanks. Oh, Ali Cat, I can't like. I got last time so many hate messages for showing that. I even got some messages in Hebrew, which is something new. Queen, thanks for the follow. But there are people who are saying that this is just a distraction from Epstein files. I don't really believe it's that. Like, I'm not one of those who are going to claim that this is just going to like try and shine the spotlight to somewhere else instead of Epstein files. I think that would be a bit too childish even for Donald Trump. I think this is more about like just doing what was asked of them. Hearts and kisses, thanks for the follow, user as well. Nursing, thanks for the follow as well. Very unfortunate that I chose Emirates for my next week flight. I should kind of like postpone that for a while. I wouldn't go there yet. This is all distraction from failing my exam yesterday. Laugi, I kind of believe that. It's all because of you. Like, it's because you failed the exam and now Trump needed to hide that fact from the public. I'm waiting for a public apology from you. Holly, thanks for the follow. I mean, we already attacked them like almost a year ago. That is true. Lee Asher, yes, June 21st, 2025, Trump declared Iran nuclear facilities had been completely obliterated. Either that was a lie or this is a lie. But it's not the first rodeo that the United States goes to war in the Middle East for bullshit reasons, for made-up reasons. Weapons of mass destruction that we all know that weren't there. Iraq, thanks for the follow as well. We've been lied to for decades. Nothing else surprised me at this point. You don't know Donald Trump, do you? It's Epstein. I mean, there must be a limit. There must be a limit that Trump is willing to like go to war with other countries. They can't go all the time and start a new conflict because of Epstein. They did that already with Venezuela. Well, that was also for oil. We got less. Thanks for the follow. Sheila, thanks for the roses and hand heart as well. But I have heard that US and Israel is hammering Iran badly. That is true. Who does your hair? I do it myself. Which is literally just nothing. Israel did not force any government to buy TikTok. I wouldn't be too sure about that. Larry Ellison, who now is the partial owner of the US side of TikTok, is one of the biggest individual donors for IDF. So, and Israel's government has multiple times, even like Netanyahu said, that they need to control social media. So, I'm not saying that happened, but there are a bit of like too many coincidences. Immediately when Larry Ellison took over, criticism of USA, Israel, and making videos about Palestine and Gaza, all viewership went down. Not saying there's a direct like link there, but it's kind of suspicious to me. Ed, thanks for the follow. In 10 years, all of this will be known as the Epstein Wars. I would love that. That this whole era is gonna be called Epstein Wars. Nancy, thanks for the follow. No link. Come on. Come on now. Saying there's no link is kind of like... Can you cover the JCPOA so people can stop spamming? Why didn't they make a deal? G, thanks for the follow. The US causes conflicts and wars so that they can profit off the military contracts that follow. Plastic Nobel Prize for starting wars for the orange man with diapers. I mean, maybe this is his reasoning, like, because he stopped those fake wars, that now he can start a new one, and he's still in the positive in his own mind, you know? But I have heard I think Iran closed Strait of Hormuz. Yes. Iran's IRGZ just warned ships heading towards the Strait of Hormuz that no vessel will be allowed through. The message was reportedly broadcast over maritime radio, but there's still no confirmation that the trade is fully shut down yet. But they are going to do that probably, because they know like financial hits are gonna like have a huge effect. KK1, thanks to follow. At least my boys are too young for his dumb war games. I mean, I think Baron Trump should be sent to the front lines. If they believe this war is just, I hope every single Republican and every single fucking donor of Trump sends their kids to the front lines. Let's see how fast the war ends. All of a sudden, no war is needed. The conflict ends immediately. Just have some empathy if you don't understand what's football. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't think Trump cares about his family that much. Turkish president urges diplomatic efforts to establish ceasefire. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has urged the Islamic world to act urgently to prevent further escalation in the Middle East, according to the remarks carried by Anadolu News Agency. To get him to care, you'd have to send Ivanka. True. It went from drill baby drill to krill baby drill. What did you just say? Turkish president urges diplomatic efforts to establish ceasefire. It is important to make distinction between the actions of the Israeli government and the citizens. Yeah, like, whenever I criticize governments, for example, when I criticize the government of the United States, when I criticize the government, like, government of Israel, I might use the term like United States or Israel or Russia, but I am not criticizing the people of them, people of those countries. I'm criticizing their leadership, their governments, their prime ministers and presidents. It's a good thing to make that like distinction again, because there's probably new. Well, look at your chat. I mean, there's still no. I like it's going quite fast on my screen, but did somebody say something about the people of Israel? That weather guy, thanks for the follow. I think my chat is usually quite like good when it comes to like not attacking the citizens of a specific country. Steve, thanks for the follow. It's clear you could care less about the Iranians, but some of us do. I mean, People's Champ, I mean, I don't really like repeating myself, but you're quite wrong about that. Well, respect your right to your opinion, but what makes you an expert? I don't know, reading global news, reading about the conflict of like Middle East ever since the Iraqi war. That doesn't make me an expert though, but I do have a lot of experience like about the topic. Just because, for example, if you're a politician, that doesn't make you an expert on the set topic. I'm Irish and I have a right to my opinion. That is true. Those people don't want war either. Who buys the most oil from Iran? If you cared, then you would know that Iranian government was shooting people protesting. Luffy, I know, and I said it a few minutes ago. If the United States killed Ayatollah and its regime and just let the Iranian people do what they want with the country, that would be fine. But they are doing a regime change and they're going to just decide who's the next leader going to be. That's the prediction and that's probably what's going to happen. Every time there's a revolution, people are rising up. I'm all for them. But I am not all for like outside sources doing regime change. God fucking damn it. How hard it is to understand. If and when the people want regime to be changed, I am all for that. I am riling up people in the United States as well to try and fucking do a revolution in the United States. Remember that you have a large number and you can do changes. I was rooting for different countries around the world last year when the Gen Zers were doing revolutions in multiple different countries. Bangladesh, Nepal, Slovakia, Bulgaria, Sri Lanka, Peru, Madagascar. I was rooting for all of those. The same thing is like, if you're that worried about Iranians being killed by their government, which is a horrible thing, I hope you have the same mentality and energy for Palestinians being massacred by Israel. Show me you have that consistency and backbone. If you can't share that sentiment, if you can't empathize as much for the Palestinians, then I don't give a fuck what your opinion is. That is not a different situation. You are willing to make excuses for one war criminal, but you're condemning another war criminal. Fuck that. Comi Simulus, thanks for the follow. Mickey, thanks for the follow as well. So if you're saying that, like for example, I am all for the people of Iran to rise up and overthrow their government, 100%, without foreign entities coming to do regime change. I'm also condemning Iran's regime killing their own, like I am condemning Israel and IDF attacking children and women, killing in the tens of thousands, killing journalists, killing fucking doctors. So if you can't have that same energy that you have for Iranians, shut the fuck up. The only reason why MAGA and right-wingers and people are on Iran's side in the USA is because now Trump is on the side all of a sudden. And we know that Trump isn't really for the Iranian people. They just want to get access to the oil and need a leader there that they can manipulate. But if you go years back, all the same people that are now rooting for the Iranian people used to be against going and help the Iranian people. But it is changed now. And that is why it's so fucking hypocritical to read Twitter and seeing like conservative like social media people and like news anchors and politicians saying that they are on the side of Iranian people. Well, they have been overlooking the fucking treatment of the Iran regime towards their people for decades, because their side said that it's none of our business. But now, when their leader, their cult leader is saying that, oh, I feel so bad for the people, even though that's a complete fucking bullshit, now they care. They're getting their talking points from their fucking cult leader. And the best way to prove that is when we start talking about what Israel is doing in Palestine. And all of a sudden they're like, no, that's a completely different thing. I'm not all for that. Can you name an instance when Dems were so fucking hypocritical? Buddy, Brian, Dems are funded by the same fucking lobbyist. They are as hypocritical. For example, when Obama killed US citizens with drone strikes, or when Obama locked refugees in cages. You remember that? I do, because I was following that. And all of a sudden, Democrats were all for that. They weren't criticizing Obama as much as they're criticizing now Trump. You know? And I was outraged back then, as I am outraged now. I thought Operation Midnight Hammer was a success. I mean, it's either a lie or this is a lie. So why are you so outraged? Because people are dying. Wealthy nations are taking advantage of them. And normal people like you and me, who are in the chat, are all of a sudden fucking simping for the ultra-rich who are fucking you in the ass. Simping for your government taking money from lobbyists and also foreign countries. Simping for killing people more and more. That is why I'm outraged, because they don't care about you. They don't care about us. They care about themselves. They care about their funders, their donators, their family, their inner circle. If you think that they are on your side, you are fucking delusional. And the propaganda and the manipulation has worked really well. I don't think there's a government at the moment in the world who really gives two fucks about us normal people. Do you like your hair? I like it quite a lot. That's why I'm playing with it all the time. The hellishness of war drives all parties to discard every remaining restraint in order to win. It is the same old greedy, evil, power-grabbing ball. True, that is 100% true. Left, right, same bird. Evil and greed is out of control both sides. Certain Americans are not understanding that this is a world issue, not just an American one. That was the same topic that we had when people were criticizing my take on Venezuela. Because they didn't understand the global ramifications of Venezuela. This is another instance where they don't understand. The same talking points were in Iraq in the early 2000s, in Libya, in Syria, in Afghanistan. Like, why are people around the world all of a sudden so fucking worried about this? Because this has ramifications around the world. People are too caught up in left versus right when we should be looking at upper class, lower class. Claypunk, 100%. 100% Claypunk threw the best comment of the evening in YouTube. It is 100%. The way that governments control us, normies, is dividing us. It's making so that we fight each other and we don't concentrate on them. That is how they control us. The more divided a country is, the more they get away with their bullshit. Jersey, thanks for the follow. Emotional support pickle. This is my hot take, and this caused last time a huge uproar. But I think every single country should have a woman leader. Period. Because we've seen what men has done. We have seen for centuries what men has done. Maybe we should try something different. I mean, at this point, I'm all for like trying something different. A lot of people who are usually in my chat probably knows one of my favorite like topics, which is the definition of insanity. Is doing the exact same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That is all the superpowers in the world, what they're doing. They're electing puppets who are controlled by foreign interest groups and lobbyists, and they expect something different. That is insanity. That is what's happening. People's champ. Oh my god, let's put an emotional being in place where you need logical decision. And you have that with Trump at the moment. He is not doing any decision based on logic. He's doing all of his decisions based on emotions. That is one of the stupidest comments, and you should feel really fucking bad. That's an old trope that was used against like past women candidates. And as we can see, you have an emotional wreck at the moment running the country. And he has the emotional intelligence of a toddler, 100%. Trump is the definition of logic. He's so smart and funny. My PayPal is in my bio. Look at what Trump's response was when Denmark rescued the US soldier from the submarine. If you don't like it, then leave. People are too... Trump cognitive decline is showing more and more, especially when you watch clips of him from 2016. Anyone who watched the State of the Union, if you watched that and thought that Trump did well, you need to watch that again. And if you watch it carefully, you will actually see that it was a surprise that he couldn't even like finish the whole 1 hour and 40-minute State of the Union, because he was slurring and mispronouncing words, and like his mind was going somewhere else, and he was losing his train of thought all the time. I think that wasn't really a good look, but of course it was spinned like being one of the best ones by MAGA. The spinning of tonsil stones. Everyone has a point and entitled to their opinion. Time will be the key. Wouldn't women just be subjected to the same environment, have similar results? Particle person, we don't know. But at this point, like, shouldn't we try something different? Like, one of the biggest lies ever was Obama saying that change is coming if you elect Obama. But of course we know Obama was controlled by the same fucking foreign entities and lobbyists that previous Democrats were controlled and also previous Republicans. So that was one of the biggest election promises, sort of lies that has ever been told. So if you want real change, you need to do scorched earth, which is a complete clean slate, and make rules to fight corruption and fight lobbying, which is just a fucking nicer word for corruption. Sheila, thanks for the roses. Hey, let's not spam things. That's one thing I really hate, like spamming the same fucking thing over and over again. It wasn't Obama. He inadvertently exposed the deep state and did what he was allowed to do. People don't realize that lobbyists write the majority of our laws, not politicians. Yes, I know. There's a lot of like documentaries and a lot of like good investigative journalist pieces when it comes to like lobbyists in the United States government. Why is it taking so long to find you? Hi from Texas. I mean, I'm talking about touchy topics, so maybe that's it. What up in Texas? You can't say where you're from. I'm from Ireland. No, I live in Ireland and I'm from Finland. What does that matter? Obama not bringing in the change that was promised made an entire generation apathetic and jaded about politics. That is true. We need to go back to everyone growing food and farming before we don't have control of our... It's not a war yet, it's a military operation. I mean, I'm not gonna use the same terminology as Putin uses. I'm gonna say what it is. Do you think cyber attacks or some sort of retaliation is in the works? I would be worried because there's a lot of intelligence that, like, Iran has sleeper cells in the United States. So I don't know if like every single party has calculated this all the way through. One Elfie, thanks for the follow. You have white privilege. Thanks. If people don't know about the deep state, look into how CIA functions and their term limits. Is Finland woke? Some people might call Finland woke, but as a person who's actually like read quite a lot of like Finnish about Finnish politics, we have a lot of like fucking conservative rules still set in stone. They're trying to break those though, but Finland has become more and more woke than it's ever been. Everything has been infiltrated. I don't think they care about all the angles. What are your pronouns? I mean, you can call me by my name. I don't really care what pronouns you use to call me. Because in Finnish, we have hän. We have one word. So I don't really like that's. I have a name. When I'm talking to people, I use their names as well. That's something that I was taught really early on, but that's also a really Finnish thing. There's bound to be Finnish people in the chat. Like, Finns, now I need your take on this. In Finland, we use first names and surnames, right? Love your voice and hair. Thanks. Is it true they hit US base in Bahrain? That is true. Yes. Hell, I'm half Finnish and didn't know that about Finland. That's so cool. Yeah, we have hän, which is written like this. I can type it in the chat. So, hän means both. They're like all. Then we have, of course, tuo, nuo, he, te. We have so many like non-gender pronouns. His vicious locks are because of the nutritious Irish tail. Yeah, but like in Finland, are Jewish Finns also trying to get the Goy to go to war? I have to be honest, like I know that like there's Jewish in Finland, but I don't know any. I can't speak on their behalf. Because I'm an atheist, so I don't really like care what religion you belong to. So I don't like categorize people I meet based on the religion. I actually might have met some Jewish, but I don't really care what religion they belong to. I'm an Iranian, thank you America, who voted for Trump. What up, Cap for life? US wanted a Vietnam sequel. Do you know how many words there are in Garage for Rain? Do you know how many words there are in Garage for Rain? Gaelic for rain. No, my younger daughter probably knows because she knows Gaelic, so. I support Trump and you're not Jesus. I didn't say I'm Jesus, Jim. Also, like, you don't really know that I'm not Jesus. I have as much proof that I am Jesus than you have proof that I am not Jesus. So, I'm not religious, only spiritual love for everyone, live and let live. I don't know, he has long hair, kind of Jesus. He could be, don't judge, that is true. An atheist Jesus, that's pretty profound. I mean, true. Oh my god, are you Jesus? That is a surprise that we will see. Are you in Finland? No, I'm not in Finland. I'm in Ireland. I live in Ireland. I'm Finnish. We moved into Ireland 3 years ago, almost 3.5 years ago. Jesus would be a Finn living in Ireland. I mean, I read that somewhere in the Bible as well, that when Jesus is coming back, he's going to be reborn in Finland and move to Ireland 33 years later, and then all of a sudden declare he's Jesus. I think that was in the Bible, in the newer versions. I learned Gaelic as a kid in Atlantic Canada. We have a lot of ethnic Scots here. Hi, good morning from San Jose, California. What up, San Jose, California?
Bitches, this is your...
Oh my fucking god, we have another banger. I need to save this as well.
Assalamu alaikum, bitches. This is your new Supreme Leader speaking. Well, I warned Ali this would happen, and he just kept talking trash like we couldn't Maduro his old ass. Anyway, enjoy your new freedom, people. We're gonna have bikini parties, all-you-can-eat buffets, dancing to country music and singing karaoke all night long. We're gonna have the best fiestas with delicious margaritas and sexy mamacitas. If you're a woman, you can finally take off that ridiculous bedsheet these idiots made you wear. You're free to be smart and beautiful and to wear whatever you want. Under my regime, you can now vote, as long as you vote Republican. If you think about it, you can only vote Republican because there will be no Democrat Party here. Everything they touch turns to shit, believe me. Assalamu
okay, I need to download that as well. Download.
Assalamu alaikum, bitches.
Download video. I might use that at some point. I need to collect all of these when I go to the United States and they're gonna look through my social media history. I don't need to point out that history means fart. The new Jesus be making pure current gluten intolerance. Hey Talamari, thanks for the heart and love you so. In the name of God, my mother and I ask you, watch our video, share, save us, we are dying in Georgia. Tbilisi, don't help. Please help people. God bless you people. How do you feel about what's in the Epstein files over there? We are outraged. And in Europe, for example, a lot of European countries have been taking action on like politicians and leaders and powerful people who were in the Epstein file. Which is completely the opposite that the United States is doing. But maybe at some point the United States will catch up on like what are morals. They're gonna ban you for you 1 year for every video. Being American rules, no other country dominates others like us. I mean, if that's your like criteria of like what rules, yeah, I guess good for you. Hey Taylor Murray, thanks for the level up sparks. They need to depose Melania, Bill Gates, Elon, Steve Bannon, and of course Trump. That is true. You could also throw like Cocaine Don Jr. and also Russian Eric Trump there and Russian Kushner there as well. You can throw all of those people there as well. What do you guys know about March 3rd, 2026? Some call it the blood moon lunar eclipse. My algorithm has been going nuts. I don't know about that. I don't know about, what was it? Blood moon lunar eclipse on March 3rd. Here we had a deposition asking Hillary Clinton about UFOs. That was like a really good way of using your time. Iran has right to defend itself with all might, Foreign Ministry spokesperson. In an exclusive interview with Al Jazeera, Iran's Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Esmail Baghai says Iran's actions are in self-defense. We are facing another unprovoked act of aggression, an egregious act of aggression that is imposed on Iranians. And we have every right in accordance with international law to defend ourselves with all might. So that's what our armed forces are conducting right now. They're defending national sovereignty and territorial integrity of Iran against the barbaric act of aggression. Chile also condemns US-Israeli attack on Israel, together with Venezuela, of course. You can hate a country's leadership without hating the country and land of people. That is true. Why go to a place you hate? What? Do you think Epstein is still alive? Yes, I do. I don't. Unfortunately, I don't. I wish Epstein was alive so we could actually ask questions from him, but I don't think he's alive. We collapsed in Terra, meanwhile they just broke our bases. You said you're going to America. That was a joke after the memes, because I'm collecting those memes and like, and to be fair, Uthor, like, not all America is like, even though the leaders are fucking delusional idiots, doesn't mean that I couldn't go to like and enjoy like Grand Canyon and couldn't go to like New Mexico and Nevada desert, because that is a vast place that I would really like to visit. Also like states like New York or California and like Montana, Idaho, all of those, like I could still pay a visit there. But I wouldn't get in based on the new like what's the fucking term? Tourist visa, that's the one. Because of the new tourist visa requirements of like providing them 5 years of your social media activity. Because they need to see that you love America. They need to see you love Trump. And unfortunately, of memes like that we just watched,
Alaikum, bitches.
I can't really get in. And to be fair, I don't feel that comfortable if like, I would probably be visiting the United States with my family, with my daughters. I don't feel comfortable of like providing my email addresses and social media activity and phone numbers from my daughters and my wife to the US government that is mismanaged so many personal information throughout the years. They would probably sell that information to Russia anyway, so. I think they would just like open my phone, look a few memes, and then all of a sudden I would be escorted to a plane that takes me to El Salvador. And you would never see me again. Yeah, you're not all MAGA. That is true. That is true. I'd like to visit the US too, but it's not worth the risk. I mean, there are states that I would never visit. Like, I have no interest in visiting, like, Alabama. Like, why? Why would I go to Alabama? No, if there's any people from Alabama, I don't mean any harm, but Alabama is like, I don't see why to go there. Florida is another one. The only reason why I would want to go to Florida is to watch Florida Panthers play. But then again, I can watch Florida Panthers play in some other city and other state. So instead, I could go to Pennsylvania, for example, because Pittsburgh Penguins is my favorite NHL team. So I could go and watch Pittsburgh Penguins play in their home ice against Florida Panthers. So I don't need to go to Florida. Is the rumor Ayatollah is dead true? That is still to be confirmed. There's a lot of rumors about Ayatollah being dead, but there is no confirmation. I don't know, like, Ayatollah said a few hours ago that he's gonna hold a press conference, but that hasn't happened yet. That is what we're, like, waiting for the Ayatollah to speak up. Trump should side with China and North Korea instead of Japan and South Korea and Taiwan. Okay, that, I have to say, like, that's kind of, that take is kind of out there. Not saying it's wrong, but, like, that's kind of a wildish take there. You will love Arkansas. People go to Alabama to study poverty. That's about it. I mean, yeah, technically I could go there and study, like, how can your family tree be just a trunk and no branches? That could also be the reason to go to Alabama. Me and my wife, I mean sister, invite you to Alabama. That's how MAGA thinks. They all offer blind obedience willingly. Well, Cuba is without power due to the US blockades, oil with many citizens being affected. Yeah, Cuba is on the next chopping block. This is going to be the year of war by the president of peace. Think about that. The president of peace is making 2026 the year of war. You can go to Bama to more learn racism. No, I would actually want to see those family trees because it would just be a line of, like, tree trunks, nothing else. I know that's a stereotype, but it's also true. Chicago is pretty cool. Lake Michigan is like Island Ocean. I've been here for 18 years. Panama Canal next, perhaps. They're gonna name it Trump Canal. I live in Florida. Hockey is king right now. My Dolphins suck. I mean, Florida Panthers and Alexander Barkov as their captain. Like, it's a fucking good hockey team. This guy is just saying anti-American propaganda. Okay, cool. Sorry, Bria. Yep, Trump can kiss the Nobel Peace Prize 2026 goodbye. They're gonna invent their own fucking peace prize. Like, the Board of Peace is gonna invent a new peace prize and they're just gonna give it to Trump. Because I would value a peace prize coming from, like, a group of the worst leaders of the world. That means a lot. When the axis of evil give you the peace prize, that means the world. Trump didn't end 8 wars, Soapy. If you believe that, I can't help you. FIFA made him a peace prize and he's actually accepted it. So embarrassing. We need a goalie. Bobrovsky is good still. If liberty and human rights are anti-American, do you then you have no idea how this country was made? What? He's so undeserving of anything related to peace. Unless it's a piece of a cake. Or 12-piece chicken McNuggets. Or 20-piece chicken McNuggets. Then he's deserving of that. You have such a strong accent, I can't even understand you, so why are you even commenting on American? I mean, Peggy, I can't really help you with that. Maybe you should go to the doctor and get your ears checked or something like that. Was referring to someone calling the stream anti-American. I mean, I'm not anti-American, I'm anti-Trump, if you want to. There are good things that Trump has done, but, like, I love your accent. Pecky is rude. I mean, Pecky is just like, she probably has a really low self-esteem, so she needs to, like, bully people and try to ridicule them online anonymously. That's fine. Let her blow up steam. That's fine. I'm a good target. Instead of like attacking other people in the chat, you can target me. That's completely fine. So Iran shouldn't be targeted. What? No, I'm leaving. I'm helping you too much. What? Your English accents are... Do we get the confirmation about the Ayatollah yet? This is the second time in less than a year that diplomacy has been betrayed by Americans. We were negotiating, we were supposed to meet on Monday to talk about technical aspects of any possible deal on the nuclear issue, and the Americans themselves acknowledged that these negotiations went quite well. This is the betrayal of the whole UN system, because the main pillar of the UN system, the United Nations Charter, is the argue for human rights of the original people. Trump has not done one thing for the US. All his spouts is lies after lies. He's a horrific person. Antichrist has already came, buddy. Antichrist isn't real, so you don't need to worry about that. Soapy, you do realize that Trump isn't America. You can be anti-regime and not be anti that fucking country. That is the issue with you fucking cultists. Is like, you idolize your leader so much that you think that every single person in that specific country needs to praise that fucking leader for everything they do. Trump is not America. That is the issue with you fucking cultists. If you don't praise our cult leader, you're anti-American. I heard a gang of 8 were briefed, but Congress wasn't involved. Lily Rosen, thanks for the follow. Descend in the American way. MAGA has forgotten that. We have to fight regimes. God bless USA from Kosovo. Piash, thanks for the follow as well. Multiple conflicts reports about the Supreme Leader. They worship Trump over their own Jesus. It's wild. That is true. Cult. It is a fucking cult, Soapy. It fits the definition of a cult. When somebody criticizes your cult leader, you take it personally because you don't have a fucking personality. Your personality is that fucking cult. That's why you feel like you're personally attacked when somebody says that Trump lies, or Trump shit their pants, or Trump started another fucking war even though he wasn't supposed to start a war. Because your whole personality is tied into that cult leader that you idolize. You still have time to get rid of that. You still have time to gain independence and start thinking independently. Don't connect your personality with a cult, because that will limit the freedom of thought you have, because you're listening to somebody else tell you what to think, and you can't criticize that at any point. Pray for everyone affected by this war. Tonight will be probably really hard for everyone. That is true. And I want to remind everybody that all the civilians that die because of this conflict is because of the aggressors. So if you want me to name them, there's 2 people who are responsible. So all the US soldiers, all the Israeli soldiers, all the Iran soldiers, all the civilians in all the countries who are affected by this, you can send your bill and you can sue Netanyahu and Trump. Nope. The Iranian leadership didn't shoot first. The girls' school was bombed by Israel. Well, Netanyahu and IDF. And so Trump and Netanyahu are responsible for this. They were supposed to have another negotiation on Monday, but they decided not to do that, and instead they decided to start bombing. Mimi, thanks for the follow. It was a preemptive strike. Iran was planning on striking US bases. There is no proof of that. And again, preemptive strike doesn't mean any fucking thing. They still striked Iran. Iran was going for negotiations. They were in... Oh my fucking God. Yeah, we preemptively strike them because they plan on striking on us. Then you're the aggressor. You are responsible for the retaliation then. That is literally what you are. You can make excuses why you strike first, but you started it. Just like Iraq had WMDs. Exactly. Just like Iraq, just like Syria, just like Libya, just like every single other. Just like Russia did to Ukraine. We need to attack Ukraine now because they were planning to join NATO and attack Russia. The US of Israel. They are still trying to join NATO. What you're talking about? I think they should join NATO. As soon as Iran has nuke, they would launch it. It's what they do. Okay. Oh, Joe, let's play the devil's advocate here. How many times have Iran done that? I'm waiting. If you're willing to spout shit like that, so such fucking made up bullshit, when has they done that? As soon as Iran has nukes, they would launch it. It's what they do. When? When have they done that? They've never done that. It's what they believe. Oh, well, that's a bit different than what you said there. But do you know what proof we do have of a country that does attack preemptively surrounding countries for BS reasons? We do have proof of that. Oh, they never had nukes. That is true. They never had nukes. But you need to attack a country because they have nukes or they have the capabilities of fielding a nuke, or they're going to have a nuke in the next 2 months. They're going to have the nuke for the next 3 months. Oh my fucking God, where's my Netanyahu again? Where is my Netanyahu again when I'm needed?
Not stopped. Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly.